Hello everybody. This is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond, and I just want to make a quick video just kind of talking about it's regarding admitted carriers, right? So there's admitted, and then there's of course non-admitted, right? These non-admitted carriers, the difference is real simple: is that one, the state, let's just call it California, that's where we're stationed in. That's where our home offices are at, and if you're in California, the California Department of Insurance is who governs the insurance industry, and they're the ones that, if you're an insurance company, you've got to send all your paperwork, and I mean there's a ton of this paperwork that has to go through and get sent to the Department of Insurance for them to approve you. You have to meet certain requirements. You have to be in business a certain amount of time. You have to have surpluses in place to nice numbers, to be able to even think about opening an admitted insurance company. And admitted means that the state of California, let's say that you're writing California used car dealer insurance. Okay, something you guys probably understand if you're a dealer. So your dealer insurance, your admitted insurance companies, there's only a certain amount of them, 3, 4, maybe 5 at most at any one given time in the last 10 years, maybe in the last 20 years. This is the truth. But you're going to have a certain amount of these dealers. Let's call it 6. Let's call it, for the sake of even numbers, 6 insurance companies that write used car dealer insurance in the state of California. Now let's imagine that one goes out. These are admitted carriers. Let's say one of them goes out of business. One of the admitted carriers gives up the ghost. They say, "Man, that's it. We're tapping out. Surpluses are done." To the extent that we got to file bankruptcy. That's what's up. What's going to happen is they're going to turn around. The Department of Insurance says, "Okay, we're going to look at all these claims." Right? What kind of claims have come in now? Let's say over the next 3 years or so, they're going to gather all these claims, and they're going to say, okay, well, there's $5 million worth of claims that this one admitted company is leaving behind. But because they were admitted by California, we want to make sure that there's still a product in place, there's still resources in place to be able to pay out these claims. Department of Insurance is not going to do it. Government's not going to do it. What they'll do is they'll turn around and say, okay, there was 6, now there's 5 of you guys. Admitted, California, used car dealer insurance. You guys, talking about homeowners, I'm not talking about these guys writing motorcycle insurance. These guys write used car dealer insurance in California. That's the main point here. They're going to turn around and say, okay, there's 5 of you guys left. There's $5 million worth of claims. Each one of you guys send us a check within the next month for $1 million so that we can pay your share of the claims. So what do you mean my share? You can get that money back, every dime of it. We're not going to take it from you. You can take it from your policy holders. And then they ask you for all your policy information. Let's say you've got 1,000 people and dealers that are insured with you. They're going to tell you, okay, for the next 3 years, you can charge each one of them X amount until you get back your $1 million that you contributed. Next insurance company, they might only have 500 customers, so they can charge twice as much for the next 3 years to recuperate that $1 million that they had to put in, and they got to put that money in now. This is the reason why the state of California is very strict, and a lot of states are very strict about this, because once they admit you as an admitted carrier, they're basically putting the stamp of approval that this is a strong insurance company that's got strong backing, is going to be able to stand by your claims should they happen. This isn't a company that's going to go by the wayside tomorrow, right? Those are admitted companies. Non-admitted companies are exactly what they sound like. Department of Insurance hasn't given that stamp of approval because maybe they haven't been in business 5 years. I don't care what your surpluses are. You can't turn around and be an admitted California insurance company unless you have at least 5 years in the business. Let's say you have 30 years in the business, but your surpluses aren't enough. You ain't got it. You ain't got it. Department of Insurance is not going to put you stamped up that you're on the admitted list, right? You do business as a non-admitted company. What does that mean? It's a lot more risky now, all of a sudden, for the policyholder. And you're going to, of course, try to go with a admitted carrier, right? Your agent, if he's worth a squirt of piss, he's going to get you lined up with an admitted carrier. Now, every once in a while, you can't get an admitted carrier to insure you. Here's the reason. Maybe the owner's too young. We just had this happen this week where the owner was 22, 23. For a couple of years, probably until he's 25, he's not going to be able to get into the admitted market because they know it's such a big risk. These guys are the under 25-year-old operators in general. If you just have personal insurance, you know they're going to be more expensive, right? It's not science here. Simple stuff. So there's certain risks that these companies won't take. If you're doing 100% salvage, right, your whole thing is just salvage, you might not get into the admitted market with this particular product, right? There's a slew of different things. Let's say you've got a bad driving record. You picked up a deuce, you had a suspended license, you ended up getting rolled while you were driving on the suspended. Man, all that happened within the last 3 years, had a rough time. Admitted carriers are probably not going to take you. It's as simple as that. Maybe you've had a couple claims. You had a rogue salesperson that maybe was a terror, maybe had a tough time with racking up his own accidents in your cars. All right, you had a couple claims. Maybe even it was a test driver. If your insurance is picking up the tab, they call it a claim, right? They call it a paid claim. And if they pay out a dime, guess what they want? I mean, if you're paying out $10 and then they pay out $1 in claims, that's a 10%, what's called a loss ratio. They're trying to keep that thing under 30% if possible. So for some reason, you've ended up with a 100% loss ratio because over the last 3 years, you've maybe paid $9,000 in premiums, but you've had $9,000 in just 2 small claims. You're at 100 points, pal. You can't get insurance in the admitted market. Got to go to surplus, or non-admitted is what they're going to call it. So now, if they do go belly up, there is no safety net, there is no backstop, there aren't 5 other companies that the losses are going to be spread between. So it's a slightly different risk. They're usually going to charge you a lot more to take the risk. They're usually going to limit your coverages in certain areas. You got a bad driving record, they're probably going to tell you you're going to pick up the first $2,500 worth of claim, no matter what it is, if you're at fault for it. We don't trust you, and your premiums are up the wazoo. And oh, by the way, they charge you what's called taxes in the insurance world. Your admitted carriers are not going to see a tax in there. So one really simple way any dealer on the planet can figure out if they've got a surplus line or non-admitted carrier that's doing their insurance, look to see if there's a tax on your deck page. It's called a declarations page. Look to see if there's a tax on there. If there's a premium tax, you're in non-admitted country, right? So anyway, for what it's worth, this is the way that works, non-admitted versus admitted. This is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond. Happy to help you in any way that we can. You can go to dmvdealerbonds.com, dmvdealerbonds.com, or dmvdealerinsurance.com, depending on what you need, and we can definitely square you away. So admitted versus not admitted, of course, you're trying to get into the best you can get, but anyway, you guys take care out there. Keep slanging them cars, man. This is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond.